In today's video, I'm going to be changing the clutch in my Mark 1 Focus ST170. Yeah guys, so like I just said, changing the clutch on my Mark 1 Focus ST170. This is the clutch that came out of this. I've already done it at this point of filming this part of the video. It was the original one, 22 years, 114,000 miles, definitely needed doing because it was slipping like nobody's business. Not too bad of a job if you've ever done gearboxes before. It is a little bit specialist, but you can just follow along in this video if you just want, you're curious in that. But yeah, this is a very old clutch. It needed one, so let's just get on and do it. First step is to remove the battery entirely from the car. Then remove the battery tray. Then the airbox. It simply pulls out. And then you can remove the intake tube. Unscrew the MAF sensor box. Jack up the car on the gearbox side and undo the wheels. I'm changing my track rod ends for new ones, but you simply just need to remove them from the hub. And then you can undo the bottom arm and whack it out, along with the anti-roll bar linkage. Undo the drive shaft nuts. You do need to do this on both sides of the car. Remove the stubby drive shaft by pulling it out of the box, but the longer one on the other side has these two nuts holding the bearing in place. You need to undo these and the drive shaft will then come out. You then need to remove the lower gearbox mount at the back. It has 4 bolts holding it on. I can then slowly go around and start removing the gearbox bolts. I will show you later in the video just where they are and how many there needs to be taken off. I need to remove the lower gearbox linkage at the back of the engine. They twist and pull off the mounts, and there are tabs in each one that sit on the ball pivot joints connecting to the gearbox. Making sure the engine is then suspended on a jack with some wood to spread the load, I can then undo the gearbox upper mount. And then I can let it down onto the jack. Remove the lock pin for the clutch line, pull it out, but try to catch the excess fluid. I then went to remove the gearbox fluid, but yeah, that's a little bit concerning. I have been driving this car for about 20 miles now, but oh well, on we go. I'm going to lower the jack down, and this should help me get the box off. But it was at this moment I discovered that you do need to actually lower the front subframe to make this job a lot easier, but I'll explain this later on in the video. Right guys, apologies that I didn't manage to catch the gearbox coming out on camera, but it was pretty self-explanatory. It's just there was a couple of this wire here I hadn't disconnected, this loom here, that was just sort of holding it in place. But yeah, that is the gearbox off. So yeah, now for the actual clutch. So guys, here is the clutch and pressure plate, and as you can see, this is completely cooked. It's got complete flat spot areas where there's sort of no weave of the actual friction disc. It's right down to the rivets on some parts. Overall, I think this clutch has seen better days. It's probably the original. I can't really
Yeah, there's a Ford stamp on the pressure plate, so I'm gonna imagine this is the original. The springs on this aren't amazing. I can actually push a couple with my fingers, which is not good. That means like there's no massive amount of, you know, pressure being put into this. And then also the actual overall condition of the the overall condition of the pressure plate is not good. Yeah, so in terms of was this needing to do, yes it was, but yeah, that is toast. I was just going to take a minute, guys, to actually show you the comparison of the good new clutch to the old one. You can see so much more grooving, gripping pads on this. You know, this is completely worn smooth, this one. On this one side it has completely worn smooth, whereas on this one you can see lots of meat on there down to the rivets, and overall, you know, not in bad nick all the way around. So yeah, that's basically the difference between the two plates. That one's old and knackered, this one is brand new and fresh. It should stop the clutch slipping problem. Guys, I just thought I'd quickly run over, since the gearbox is now off, it's a lot easier to explain what you're actually looking for when you take the gearbox off, sorry. So you've got 2 bolts down here, you've got one there, one there, one there, there, another one at the top over there, another one there, another one there, another one there. And then on the gearbox, you've got 2 plugs on the back, and I'll show you on the gearbox in a second. And really, that is about it. So guys, obviously this is the gearbox. We're looking at it now from the front. So the engine's going to be here. Things you want to look out for, like I said, you've got all these bolts around. You know, count them up, take a picture of that on screen, whatever, and use it as a bit of a guide. And then there's a plug here, and this is also where you can see the back of the shifting mechanism. Tab there and a tab there, and obviously where the cables go through. But other than that, pretty self-explanatory. What we're going to do in here is change this slave cylinder, because to be honest, it doesn't feel too bad and it still does work, but obviously it's old and it's just good practice, and it's very dirty in there, so we're going to get on and do that now. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, wouldn't do that, would it? You're quite lucky to fast, aren't you? Yeah, it's a whole hour of it now. Yeah.
It's now time to install the new clutch and put put the car back together.
Yeah guys, I did just want to say that you do actually have to drop the front subframe a little bit to allow the gearbox to, well, I got it off all right, but getting it back on was the tricky part. And basically the subframe's holding with these two big bolts back here, and there's one at the front up just there. You don't need to take it fully off, you just need to lower it down, and it just gives you a bit more space to get the gearbox back up in the car on a jack, or however way you see fit. But let me tell you, it is not easy. Right then guys, so as you can see, I've made massive progress on this. The gearbox is back on and the clutch is bled, and it feels really nice. So all I've got to do now is top the gearbox up with gearbox oil and then rebuild all that, and then we can go for a start and we'll see how the car feels.
So guys, as that little intro just showed, the car does roll under its own power with the new clutch in. I've taken it for a little drive. It feels all right. It feels good. You know, it's nothing special. It's just a normal clutch, but it drives a hell of a lot better than it did. Before it was slipping like nobody's business. It was absolutely cooked. It was beyond saving. And even just pulling away was really hard because there was just no grip on the clutch plate. And I remember taking a pull off a junction, and through first gear was fine, second gear was just slip, third gear slip, fourth gear slip, fifth gear slip. There was no power whatsoever being put to the wheels. So that's a really good job done. Not the easiest of jobs, but it's still possible on the driveway. A couple of evenings of my time and a lot of money saved, because the clutch alone is 300 quid. So, you know, the labor intensiveness of that change is unreal. But for now, the car is running fine. It's actually at a state now where I can go and get a wheel alignment, because I'm currently going down the road like that because of all the suspension geometry I've been doing on the car. There's plenty more content coming on this car, guys. Like, you know, I'm going to be using it for light track use. We're going to be having some fun in it. I think it's just a really good car. From what I've driven already, it's a really well handling car. It just needs all the niggles sorting out now. So we'll be doing that. Fit the bucket seat, steering wheel, all that sort of good stuff. But for now, guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've learned something. I hope you can follow along. I know it wasn't much of a guide as such, but you could probably use it as reference and stuff. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like for more content. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so please, please, please smash that subscribe button if you really want to help me get to 10,000. That'd be much appreciated. I will see you in my next video, guys. Keep enjoying your crusty, rusty, modified Fords that you constantly have to maintain every single day just to keep running.